Many contractors dream of handover visits with zero admin burden on them. From our statistics, for every hour that you spend doing a site visit results in one more hour of admin burden. Instead of sharing a nice meal with your family after the visits, you are faced with the task of manually creating your final handover report. Today, contractors have set up new ways of working where all these admin tasks are reduced to more than 50%. Their dream of having a handover visit without any emails, phone calls, complicated Excel sheets, and neither having to merge the data from pen and paper into Word documents is now achievable. Let's review the classic way of how you, as a contractor, perform your handover visit. After, let's compare it to the new solution that's been implemented for the last couple of years. It all starts with you on your construction project, kindly waiting for all the other members of the project. First, the client will join. The second to join will be the architect. From away, you have as well the subcontractors who are waiting for their lists of defects to solve. Now, let's take a more detailed look on how this handover visit happens in most cases. Together with the client, all defects that needs to be repaired are listed. Once done, all these defects are communicated to the contractor. The contractor receives the defects list. He checks that each remark is assigned to the correct type of trade and assigned to the correct subcontractor. Of course, he is not allowed to delete any defects. The subcontractor then receives his tasks list from the contractor. He will then start executing them and inform the contractor of his progress. Once the tasks are finished, the contractor will perform a quality check and usually informs the architect he can review and close the open remarks. The architect closes all the remarks and documents them appropriately. So far so good, nothing new. But who is responsible for what during this process? Well, the client is only allowed to give advice to the architect and to have a view on the defect lists he sums up. He doesn't have the legal right to create defects. As an architect, you are legally representing the interests of the client. You are allowed to list defects and communicate them to everyone. Additionally, you are responsible for the final handover report that will be distributed to all stakeholders. The contractor controls and reassigns defects in the form of tasks to appropriate subcontractor. He is not allowed to delete or archive any defects created by the architect. The subcontractor only has the right and ability to see his assigned tasks, take action and start the works. Like the contractor, he is not allowed to delete or archive any defects. Finally, to communicate all these defects, the architect creates a report that aggregates all the remarks. The report is used as legal basis and is shared with the client and contractor. The old way of working consists of aggregating paper versions of remarks, pictures, pieces of plans. All this in a manual way when you are back in the office. It usually takes 1 hour of admin work per hour that you have spent on site. Of course, you are wondering, but how does this work in the new era of digitalization? Well, with the new solution, it allows you to create an automated report in 5 clicks, containing mandatory information in a structured way. Once generated, the report is distributed to all involved stakeholders automatically. As a result, the architect just saves 50% of his time. Great, his dream has come true. Let's quickly have a look how they do this. As usual, together with the client, they create snags of all defects that need to be repaired. The architect creates a point in the app for every defect he spots. The status at this stage of the work is usually observed. This is the starting status of every remark annotation. Each point contains pictures and other relevant information needed to make sure there is no misunderstandings possible. Once all defects are listed, they are communicated to the contractor. He can then check that each remark is assigned to the correct type of trade and assigned to the correct subcontractor. He is not allowed to delete or archive any defects. At this stage, the contract will use a status planned to confirm that he has set a due date and reassigned subcontractors to that point if appropriate. Next stage is once a subcontractor has taken action and solved the defects, he sets a status on done by subcontractor. After that, the contractor verifies the work and sets a stage on checked. Once checked, the architect is automatically informed that defects are solved and that he can review the open remarks. The architect sets the stage of the point initially created to closed. Once he confirms that the defects are solved as per the requirements, he can then archive the point in order to keep a trace in case of problems occurring. This was in summary the process using APROPLAN statuses. The architect will then print and digitally distribute the automatically created handover report in a few seconds. Just take a look at your tablet and it's running by itself. What a pleasure. Report layout and structure can be personalized in all ways possible. Very handy when you want different levels of information to be shared with others. As a contractor, you don't need to bother about admin follow-ups afterwards, since admin tasks are now performed on the spot during the visit. This is the story of how contractors made your dream of faster handover visits come true. Hope you liked it.